morning, everyone. It's another beautiful day. Fall has arrived in Tucson. If you're in Tucson, you'll know what I'm saying. I always say that fall, uh, like the heat of the summer, always breaks around Halloween. I told that to my husband before he moved here from Canada. He's like, "It stays hot that long?" I said, "Yeah, it's usually around Halloween that it breaks." How's it going? It's Thursday, October 26th, 5 days before Halloween. So it broke a little early this year, but it's Thursday, October 26th, 2023. It's 8:30 a.m. right here in the cool, crisp old Pueblo, Tucson, Arizona. And this is our mindful moment. I'm Dr. Jonathan Zenz. I'm the spiritual leader here at Unity of Tucson. And this is the opportunity that we take online to gather together virtually as a community to engage in some spiritual practice first thing in the morning, every single weekday. And I do this every single weekday to be consistent in my spiritual practice, because what I have found is that consistency in my spiritual practice has made my life a lot better. It's really enhanced the quality of my life. So that's why I do it. And I am grateful to share the time with you. Whether you are watching live or on the replay, I would love for you to post a comment. Let me know that you are here. I always love reading your comments and I love seeing them. Even when you comment on the archive, I'm always delighted to see the comments come through. So good morning from San Diego. Grateful to see you. Is this Casey? Is that how you say your name? I hope I'm saying it right. I'm assuming that it's you, a friend of Naomi's, because you were on yesterday. Audrey, yes, I am worthy and magnificent. Indeed, you are. And I'm about to tell you. Same thing. Morning from Marvis. Grateful to see you, Marvis. Roberta, grateful to see you there. You're in cool New Hampshire. And lovely to see you there. And so I'm assuming, yes, it's Casey on the Family Time Facebook private group. So yes, yeah, we the mindful moment goes to actually 7 different streaming locations. There's like 2 on YouTube and 5 2 on YouTube, 4 on Facebook, and 1 that is our streaming player on our website at unitytucson.com. So there's always lots of opportunity for people to check in. Sarah, grateful to see you. Buenos dias to you. Silvana, good morning to you. Howdy, Wayne, grateful to see you from up in the Great White North. I do, Audrey sort of beat me to the punch, but I do want to remind you of this, and it is what I love to say to you every single time I see you. Take this moment to take this in, what I am telling you, because I hold this as firm truth, resolved truth in my own heart. You are love. You are light. You are life. You are magnificent. And I am so delighted and grateful that you shine your light and share your magnificence. Let's keep shining our magnificence all over the world. Let's spread that stuff all over the world. What do you say? So today, there's so much going on in my mind today. So I had my mental muscle session this morning. We're talking about life force, the life force energy. That's the theme of the week. And so that's been really wonderful to have some feedback and talking with the group that are in mental muscle about that. And then I had a follow-up phone call with somebody and we were talking about the nature of prosperity. And so that's all tied into life force as well. And what I actually was drawn to was to go back and look at some of the notes that I was taking while I was walking the Camino de Santiago in Spain, which I know probably all of you, most of you know that I walked that pilgrimage, the 500-mile walking pilgrimage in Spain back in the spring. And it's always on my mind. I now understand people who have walked it that I've interacted with. They told me like it's going to be part of you forever, and it's like it's literally a part of me forever. I think about it all the time. But I was going through and looking at my notes, and I want to read some of what I was experiencing. And these are kind of like, these are not like formal notes. I didn't like sit down and write a novel or anything. But I wrote this on May 10th. I wrote, walking out of Sahagun, I mostly walked along the highway, which is not my favorite. But I may opt for the longer Roman way to get off the highway, even though it is a very long walking day, more than 30 kilometers. So, just for reference, if you don't know the conversion there, 32 kilometers is 20 miles, more than 30 kilometers. But I'd rather enjoy myself walking and be frustrated than next to a highway, which is funny. Like I'm affirming frustration there, right? And I wrote my playlist because I would listen to music. My playlist today has begun with Faith Rivera's Suncatcher, which is a perfect fitting soundtrack for my morning. I also finished a book that I was listening to, an audiobook, Zealot by Reza Aslan. And then all of Michael Gott's CD, Amazing, and more Dolly. I listened to a lot of Dolly Parton on the Camino. There were days that I would dub Saint Dolly days because of what I was listening to. Um, Towards the end of the day, I wrote blister number 3 has appeared. I did end up walking 32 kilometers, and the village I'm staying in has an emergency issue with water. No running water in the whole village. We were handed big bottles of water to drink when we checked into our albergue, and the albergue is a hostel. Looking at an option to eliminate another 32-kilometer day, hopefully the albergue I've inquired to will have a bed I can reserve for that date. Why does this come up? Why does this resonate with me today? What is the whole point of me even reading this to you? What came up for me is this, that we're always in a place of choice. We're always in a place of choice. As I've learned more about that pilgrimage, about what the options were for that pilgrimage, and how my choices were um, allowing, like how the choices I was making were, my allowance of being on the journey, number one, but also knowing that there was infinite possibility in how that journey unfolded. I think about that day that I decided to take the Roman way, which made my day infinitely longer. And I got another blister that day. And I remember that day so vividly. And then getting to the end of my longest walking day and having no water, no running water, which meant I couldn't take a shower. And it just, I could have gotten really lost. I could have gotten really lost in the idea that it was a painful, challenging experience. And I did. I acknowledged my frustration. And yet, the practice is this, knowing who I am. And in the light of circumstances, the circumstances are the circumstances. My experience of the circumstances are entirely in my inner mental relationship to the circumstances. So, what this brings up for me is this: if you are in circumstances that perhaps you are defining as challenging, maybe consider rethinking that definition. I look back on that day and it became one of the most profoundly important days of that journey, even though the circumstances and the experience of it right in that moment were feeling very challenging. But it became one of the most profoundly beneficial parts of my entire pilgrimage, that 20-mile day. And that all is related to how I chose to interact with the circumstances from a mental and a heart space, from the heart space, really. In the activity of it, it may have felt very challenging. I have had challenges in circumstances very recently, last week, when I was, experiencing my friend, my very dear friend, having his medical issue and being airlifted from the island of Kauai over to Oahu. I could have looked at that circumstance and said, "Oh, this is really, that's a challenge." But all circumstances are just circumstances. Our experience of them, simply the relationship to circumstances. Felt that sneeze coming on, muted my microphone so that I wouldn't be sneezing right in your face. So, today's message is this: we are the creators of our experience. And while we may have similar circumstances in the world of form, our experience is entirely an inside job. So, how will you choose to experience your circumstances today? How will you choose to experience your circumstances today? You get to decide. You get to decide whether they are hard. You get to decide whether they are easy. You get to decide whether they are rooted in destruction or construction. You get to decide the meaning of your life. So let's take that to heart today and perhaps make some decisions that all is rooted in grace, love, kindness, flow, infinite prosperity, and joy, because that is the nature of life force. Ah, that feels good to me. That feels good to me. And that's what prayer is all about, getting to the root of engaging feeling. So I'm going to invite us all to settle in to our hearts and minds right here and right now, allowing the easeful, graceful, relaxed state as we prepare ourselves to enjoy this spiritual practice collectively. Releasing anything that has preceded this moment, releasing any anticipation for what may unfold, and acknowledging that we are, each and every one of us, perfectly present as the presence in the here and now. In this relaxed state of mind, in this relaxed state of heart, I acknowledge and accept this understanding that there is only one infinite power and presence. There is only one life force energy. There is only one source. There is only good. There is only God. I accept this as the truth of my mind, the truth in my mind, the spiritual truth that I hold firm and resolved in for myself. And I know that this truth that I choose to embody becomes a truth for my entire experience. And so I recognize the light of the divine in every face that I encounter, for there is no aspect of creation that is not wholly divine. We are this power and presence. We are the light. We are the life. We are the love. We are the infinite wisdom. We are the intuitive nature. We are the life force energy embodied and expressed, each and every one of us. Our identity is God, source energy. For we cannot be separate from the infinite. And so I know that this God source energy, this life force is active in our experience. And as we experience circumstances, the experience of the circumstances is rooted in our relationship, our decision of those experiences, our decision on how we define the circumstances. And so I choose to define my circumstances always as productive, loving, rooted in kindness, graceful, easeful, joyful. I choose to experience life from this point of view. And I know that irrespective of what the circumstances look like in form, that my decision overrides all other aspects that would seemingly be contrary to that idea. And so I welcome the joy and the love, the light, the life, the peace, the power, the beauty. I welcome it all. And it is with gratitude and appreciation overflowing that I simply let this be. I relax, I trust, I know. And I affirm this as so by releasing this word as the law. I know it is complete. The law of mind action says yes, yes, yes. And I let it be. I simply let it be. I affirm this by saying, and so it is. And so it is. Yes. Well, always a delight to share this time with you. Always. And I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow, right here, wherever you're watching, Facebook, YouTube, on our website. I will be back for the mindful moment at 8:38 a.m. tomorrow morning. Uh, keep shining your light. It was entrusted to you to shine forth. So please keep shining that light. Peace and blessings to you. See you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.